Hello, and welcome back to another episode of the Armchair Pundits podcast. This is the Liverpool post-match review show, and once again, we have dropped points for the second Premier League game running. We have drawn today 1-1 against a Forest side that didn't offer much, but were very resolute. But anyway, before I get into that, don't forget to like and subscribe. Smash that like button, guys. Really appreciate the views I've been getting, and I'm hoping that you're enjoying it. And if you haven't subscribed, subscribe as well. But yeah, enough of that. Back to the game itself. So, 1-1. First half, no shots on target. First half, so many passes that were mislaid, and it just wasn't good enough. It's becoming a pattern at the moment where our first half of games are really poor, and we have to try and save ourselves in the second half. And I look at the stats from the first half. 30% possession to Nottingham Forest, 70 to us, of course. Expected goals 0.30, us 0.47, and we were losing 1-0. Total shots, they had 3, 2 on target. We had 9, 0 on target. Big chances, they had one big chance and they took it. We had one big chance and we missed it. Accurate passes, they had 86 accurate passes at 69%, and we had 246 accurate passes at 85%. I mean, come on. We should have done so much better. So much better. And it's just frustrating that I've watched the Man United game, I've seen the Tottenham game, and it's the same thing. It's almost like they've got lead boots on. Passes are either being overhit or underhit. Players are having to run back to get onto a ball, so there's no flow. Moving the ball really slowly. Listen, everyone knows when you play a team, and we knew we were going to play a team that's going to play a low block. Play a team that plays a low block, you need to move the ball quickly. You need to have a lot of movement. And it's almost like every time someone gets the ball, they're not sure what they want to do with it. They're taking a touch. Okay, where am I going to pass it? Am I going to give it to Robertson, or am I going to give it to Gakpo? Am I going to give it to Salah, or am I going to give it to Szoboszlai? Like, come on. These guys need to be quicker in their thought process, because you're not going to score. You're not going to score from open play if you're not passing the ball quick enough against these teams. You need to have players moving constantly and get into spaces, even though the spaces are tight. Wall passes, do something. We resorted to long shots, which is why we had 9 shots and 0 on target, because most of them were long shots. Block shots, yes, they had block shots, but there was only 2 in the first half. So you give credit to them defensively, because you look at today's game, it's no surprise that they have the best defense in the league, or joint with Arsenal now because they conceded. I think they're on 18, we're now on 19 goals conceded. But first half just wasn't good enough. And if you could have made changes, we possibly should have. Maybe bring Jota on, because it just hasn't been working for Diaz in the last 3 league games, or last 3 games minus, last 3 games he's played, because he didn't play the FA Cup game. The last 3 games he's played, it hasn't really worked for him as the centre forward. And I think come Brentford, we need to see Jota back as a centre forward, because he just knows where the goal is. He's so good at finding spaces, so good at finishing, that it's time that he's recovered from his injury now. He's had his run of games. He's played 90 minutes on the weekend against Accrington Stanley, so we know he's ready. But I'll move on to the second half. Second half, they had nothing. They had 0.09 expected goals to our 1.48. They had 3 shots on target, we had 14. They had 3 shots on goal, we had 14. They had 1 shot on target, we had 7. Big chances, none, and we missed. We had 3 big chances, scored 1, obviously, the corner, and missed 2. And their goalkeeper was outstanding in the end. The goalkeeper and Murillo between them, and Milinkovic, to be fair, those 3 was fantastic. Really fantastic. The goalkeeper pulled off save after save after we scored. I think after we scored, the next or the last 13 shots of the game were from us. So that's not even on target. That's 13 shots in total. They didn't have a shot after we scored. We were that dominant. and I just wish we had been able to find the pass, the shot, because Jota comes on 3 shots on target, and it would have been good because we then would have come out of it tough performance, 3 points, and I think that's what we needed. With Arsenal playing Tottenham, and they always seem to win the home game, it could be a case where our lead gets whittled down to 4 points again, and it's something that it's still good to have the lead, but it could have been avoided just by us starting the games better. Our first half performances have not been good enough, and it's something Slot needs to look at. It can't be a tactic for us to wait and see how they play and what they do, and then second half make some changes and adjust. Because if that's the case, it's very risky, and we're going to continue seeing performances like this if teams clock on and start sitting deep. So really hoping that going forward we start the game as we mean to go on, with purpose, with drive, with physicality, with clean passes, and with quick passes and good movement. Because second half we had a bit more of that, had good movement, we had quick passing, and we saw the difference. So I look at when guys came off, Simicas coming on, Robbo. Listen, I always say he can't play 3 games in a week. He can even play on the weekend, and he wasn't good enough today. Bonus with Simicas is, although it was only one decent cross, he gets us cross. He takes a good corner, and it helps us get a goal today. But Robertson, he's on a drop off. He's not completely finished, though he does look it at times. But we need to see less of him, and it needs to be shared out more with Simicas. So for me, I'd rather have Simicas play against Brentford, because we're going to need that, and Robbo can't back it up this week for me. But yeah, not a great performance. I'll move on to the match, the player ratings as I normally do, and the player ratings aren't going to be fantastic. Although we had a much better second half, I don't think we played fantastically overall. So starting off with Alisson, I've given him a 6. The goal, I don't know, I might be being harsh. I've just looked into WhatsApp and someone put in a post, I don't know if it's true or not, so I could be saying something's not true, but I'm going to put it out there anyway, that the last 15 shots he's faced, he's conceded 9 goals. They are not Alisson's stats. They are not Alisson's stats by his high standards. They are Simon Mignolet stats. And it's something, I need to have a look at the goals myself. Maybe all the goals he had no chance on, but that's not a good stat. And I don't know if I'm being harsh on him, if he should have scored. It was a nicely well placed strike from Chris Wood, but man, we need more from Alisson. We need that Alisson that was just making world class saves every second and giving us clean sheets. So I've given him a 6. Robbo, didn't think he was good today. I've given him a 5. Needs to do a lot better. Needs to improve because he's just making little mistakes and not leaving us with confidence, if I'm being completely honest. Van Dijk, I actually thought he was good today. The goal they scored, at first I blamed him. I was like, why is he so deep? And he probably was too deep, if I'm being honest, because he probably should have stepped up and stayed in line with the rest of the defenders. But I looked at it, and Konate, I don't know where he was. I know Salah loses the ball, but Konate was in the middle of nowhere. Gravenberch slightly at fault in that goal as well, not completely, but I say he's slightly at fault because at the point Gravenberch is actually sitting behind Konate, so just drop into the back line and look after Chris Wood and then swap over Konate afterwards. If he does that, Chris Wood is not there to receive the pass or to score the goal. So just a big mix-up between Van Dijk, Konate and Gravenberch. But apart from that goal, I think Van Dijk was good throughout the game. When I look at it, when I look at his defensive actions, 7 clearances, no interceptions, but 3 recoveries. Jules won 7, Jules lost 1. So an area Jules 5 out of 5. So much better from him. I look at Konate, he still doesn't look fully fit. I know sometimes players can come back really good, some don't. I think he's come back not as sharp at all. And he wasn't horrible today, if I'm being completely honest. But I think he was at fault for the goal. I've given him a 6. I've given him a 5.5. I've given him 5.5. He needs to do better. We need to see the old Canate back, one that's dominant and one that is um, doing a good job. And the last couple of games, he hasn't been his normal self. Look at Trent. Trent was wasteful today. Pass-wise, accurate passes, 62 out of 72. Not great at shooting, 2 shots. And then another stat I've seen, he lost the ball 21 times. Not sure, excuse me. It's not the greatest thing with Trent. That happens a lot. But defensively, 1 out of 1 tackle, 100%. And duels, he's never great at duels. 1 out of 5 duels. But Trent, you need to do better. He's still wasteful of his passes. There was one really good pass he put in for Salah, and Salah just wasn't on it today, out of form today. But I've given Trent a 6 as well. McAllister, I thought was okay. He was getting pressed quite a lot in the first half, but he won the ball back a lot today. Giving him a 7. He can play better, and he needs to play better because we need him to if we're gonna get control of that midfield again. I look at his tackles, 3 out of 4 tackles won today. Duels, he won 6, lost 5, but that's normal for him. He's always here and there, always battling in. But happy in general with his performance. And I look at it, passing to final third 7. So not too disappointed with him. I look at Gravenberch, I've given him a 7 as well. He does a lot. He ended up playing centre back. Did well at centre back, to be honest. Didn't get a sniff. I think they had one chance. He used his body well and gets in front of Elanga. I think it might have been, and wins the ball back and sets off onto another attack. But generally, he's playing well. But first half, he wasn't great. None of them were great, so I can't give him more than a 7. But second half, he helped us defensively and in midfield. Szoboszlai was busy. Busy today. We've seen what we were missing. His running ability, his closing down. He still needs to get better with shooting. He's still not making that decision to shoot quick enough when we know he's got a great shot. So I need to see more from him. But he was busy today. Didn't give them a moment to breathe. Sorry, didn't give him a moment to breathe. But there's more to come from Szoboszlai. He's been out for a little while. So played 45 minutes on the weekend, but I expect a better performance from him against Brentford. And look at Gakpo. Gakpo was a weird one because I didn't see a lot of him, but he wasn't horrible and he wasn't great. I've given him a 6.5. Personally thought he probably should have been subbed. Chiesa was on the bench. Give him 15 minutes, give him 10 minutes, see what he can do, because Gakpo wasn't really getting much change out of Olaena. He's been fantastic this season. I look at shots, 3 shots, accurate passes 22 out of 26, and shooting accuracy 1 out of 3. So could have done better today. I would have liked seeing Chiesa, as I said. So I've given him a 6.5. Salah, I've given him a 4. Thought he was really poor today. Really, really poor today. I mean, yes, I can't expect him to be fantastic every game, but he got a lot of the ball in the end and didn't do much with it. One really good pass where Szoboszlai took a shot and that figure got blocked. But other than that, his passing wasn't on point. His shooting wasn't on point. You look at it, he had 6 shots, only 2 on target. Passing accuracy, 75%, 27 out of 36. And his shot accuracy was 40%, 2 out of 5. So needs to do a lot better. And come on, Stella, you are our main guy. And in games like this is when you got to step up again. I know you've done it a lot this season. Before today, you've scored 18 goals in 19 games. And funnily enough, Forest and one other team who I can't quite remember right now are the only teams that he hasn't scored against. But no, not happy with Salah today. Luis Diaz, again, playing up front didn't work for him. Didn't work. Didn't work against Tottenham. Didn't work against Man United, and hasn't worked again against Nottingham Forest. Probably should have started Jota. It's a shame. I've given him 4 as well. Wasn't happy with his performance today, and needs to do better. I move on to the bench, and Tsimikas comes on within 20 seconds, gets an assist. isn't really troubled much in that half. I've given him a 7. Gets an assist, gets a clean sheet, and puts in some good corners as well. One was poor, but another corner he took was decent. So I move on to Jota. Comes off the bench, scores after 20 seconds, has 2 other shots that were on target. Should have started the game. I've given him a 7.5. Was our best player in the day today, and hope he starts more games now. The Diaz experiment is possibly over, so give it to Jota. Jones comes on, doesn't do much, but does okay. I've given him a 6 today. Wasn't horrible, but didn't do enough in terms of if you're coming off the bench, make an impact, get us a goal, get us an assist, something like that. Didn't do that. And like I said, Slot, I think you should have brought on Chiesa, should have taken off one other player, because we had Elliot on the bench, we had Chiesa on the bench. Both have threats. Elliot is good in tight spaces, could have been good for today. But I get it. Szoboszlai was doing really well, and Szoboszlai is really key for counter-attacks because he's quick and he doesn't hesitate to run back. But I don't know whether it's a point dropped, if it's 2 points dropped today, or if we've gained a point. Either way, it wasn't good enough today. Much better second half, but we need to win these games, guys. This January has not been good, and we need to turn that page quick and win it on Monday, or the end of January can't come quick enough and we can start fresh in February. But that's been me. Liverpool have drawn 1-1, and it hasn't been great for us. Don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe, don't forget to share as well. This has been Armchair Pundits Liverpool podcast, post-match podcast. Take it easy, guys. Peace out.